Hello there everyone. As my hair curls pretty much out of control, I am here today to talk about how to both play and build Persephone within Smite. Let's dive in. Let's start today by talking about Persephone's abilities. Her whole kit revolves around the idea that she is but a humble farmer. And her second ability has her placing out different seeds. These seeds have 3 different forms, and they go through these forms over time as they exist on the map. You can interact with these seeds by auto-attacking them. Depending on what form they're in, they're going to do different effects. The first form is just a simple seedling. This seed simply heals Persephone when it's interacted with. The second form is a little bulb plant thing. This deals area of effect damage around the seed itself. The third is the sprout, which when auto-attacked will walk and charge at the nearest enemy god. If there's no gods around, then it will just attack the minions or whatever other enemy creature thing is nearby. And every single time you interact with the second ability, you are going to get a seed, and these seeds tie into Persephone's passive. Whenever Persephone has more than 25 seeds, she can spend these automatically to resist death when she is caught out or otherwise killed. Now, this allows Persephone to continue to fight for 8 seconds after getting picked, still being able to cast all of her abilities, but dealing 50% reduced damage. Granted, balance, things might change, but yeah, she resists death. Now, Persephone's first ability is a simple line attack that has the added bonus of planting a seed at the furthest point during that line attack. Persephone's third ability is basically just a fertilizer. So Persephone throws this fertilizer down on the ground and it launches her forward or backwards depending on which way she is moving. Now, this fertilizer is going to interact with all the seeds that were already on the ground in the area around Persephone. This fertilizer is going to force those seeds to evolve into their next form and immediately engage and interact with the environment. So if you plant skull, it's going to evolve into the bulb and explode. If you interact with the bulb, it's going to evolve into the walking plant monster and start charging. Now it's time to talk about Persephone's ultimate, which is arguably one of the best abilities in the game. Basically, Persephone throws out this giant mass of vines and it's going to trap the first god hit, or if it hits nothing, like it'll just stick to walls and stuff like that. Now, the added bonus, and the reason this ability is so stupid, is it latches out vines from that epicenter and roots and cripples every god within the radius. It's a great team fighting ability, and it can turn the entire game on its head if it's used correctly. So now that we're done talking about Persephone's abilities, let's move on and talk about a build. So the build I like to run on Persephone is nothing special. It's a pretty standard build, but it's going to allow Persephone to deal a lot of damage and still help her team out. The build in question is choose a focus into Divine Ruin, into Spirit Desolation. That's the core. Now to finish up the build, I like going into more power and some cooldown reductions. So we're going to be building into Chronos Pendant, Obsidian Shard, and then either Ethereal Staff or Soul Reaver in that final spot. That's the build I like to go. It's pretty standard, but it is very potent. So now let's quickly cover some tips and tricks of things I've picked up along the way while playing this goddess. Now, Persephone, let's first talk about ability leveling order. I'm going to get flack for this, but I personally think that it doesn't matter whether you level the first ability or the second ability first, but it's all about what you want to do. If you're going to be in a high pressure lane where you think you are going to have a hard time clearing, level the first ability to max first. That is going to allow you to easily clear the wave, and then you can still deal relevant damage in fights if you need to. Now, if you think you are going to be dominating the lane, then you can level your second ability first, because if you are going to be in a dominant position, or if you don't have to worry as much about clearing the wave under pressure, then the extra damage and additional procs you can get from using the extra power on the second ability earlier is valuable. But in general, you want to level either the 2 or the 1 to max first, then level the other one, level the alt where you can, and then the third ability to max last. Next thing I've picked up along the way is make sure you're using your seeds before you dash. If you know that you're going to get dashed on, you can place a couple seeds at your feet, and then when you leap backwards, it's also going to deal damage at your feet, which is going to deter them from continuing to just dive on top of you. The final tip I have is to remember that even if you get picked, if you have your passive stacked, you will live on and can still impact a team fight. Seriously. Don't forget this. It's a very important part of her kit. You get picked and you still have ult up, you can revive and then still use your ult to dramatically affect that fight. The final thing I do have to add, because it's very important to playstyle, is you can cancel Persephone's passive if you right click while it's still triggering, and I should also mention that executes override this revive. So have fun with that. Now, that's all the time I have for this video. Good luck out there. If you want to continue to learn more about how to play and build within Smite right now, click on that video on your screen and I'm going to see you there. Take it easy, guys.